this book, or rather listening to this book called The Habit Cure by Charles Duggin, and it has to do with how habits are formed in our brain and subsequently in our body, how it affects our motor control, how it affects our actions, how it ingrains in our motor system. And beyond that, what hormones are released, what are the patterns, and what's fascinating is that all throughout time, we've kind of distilled it now to a very predictable loop. And that loop is that there's a cue, a routine, and a reward, okay? And the cue could be anything. It could be an emotional thing like I'm stressed the F out, or I see this, and that means I want to do this. Oh, I feel this, and I want to do this. Routine, of course, is what you choose to do. So if your cue could be, oh, I feel stressed the F out. Your routine is, let me go to the store and buy myself some Lick ice cream, which is delicious, by the way. Some Lick ice cream, and that reward is, oh, I feel much better. I can kind of forget my woes or forget my emotions just for a second and immerse myself in the experience of this sweet, yummy goodness that is the ice cream, okay? And I'll admit, like when I first started this business, I had a very hard time with creating enough energy to continue going because I was so spread thin. Building the business, putting down the mats, putting down everything, getting the marketing going, figuring out like where to get the equipment, funding, so many different things were happening. So it was very hard for me to see how to create the same reward, which is I feel good, I feel energetic, with things that require a heftier investment at the time. So I would have a cue, oh, I'm stressed the F out. Routine, let's go get some Asian food. Reward, feel good, because that reminds me of how I grew up. Very spicy food, very enjoyable food, and I would overeat that food because it was very comforting. Okay, so that was something I really enjoyed. But the thing is that the moment I try to go back to my habits that I know are more resourceful for me, what would happen is I had to believe, and this is really important, I had to believe that that habit that I knew intuitively was more resourceful for me, I had to believe that it would work. And most of the time when shit hits the fan, like in my instance, when I first started the gym, shit hit the fan. Or for you guys it could be like, oh my God, I'm starting a new family. Or it could be something happened at work, or some life situation hit you square in the face, whatever it may be. And if you don't believe that it will still give you the same reward, despite the fact that you're in a shitstorm, then of course your old habits that were so rewarding so quickly, so transiently, will always, always win over, okay? So the most important thing is that you have to believe that these more resourceful habits, and you know, you've read all about it, you've seen how it impacts your body, you've probably even experienced a snippet of how awesome it is to be in perfect health, or close to perfect health, I shouldn't say perfect health, but to be close to perfect health, an optimal level, then you know, and you know it's hard to stay with it. But that's so important, that's the distinguishing factor they found in most of these studies too, is that as long as you're aware of this stuff, so if you want to change a habit, you simply become aware of all your habit loops. So when you get a cue, which is I'm stressed or I'm pissed off, there's a particular routine that happens, and from that routine you get a reward. You start writing this out for a whole week, just tracking exactly all your habits throughout the day, every single day for a week. And then next week you can look at it and try to change the routine to get you the same reward you were seeking from the destructive habit. And that's a great way to start changing habits. But then when the shitstorm hits, what's really important is you have to still believe that it's possible. Okay? And that belief is very tough to have. So I implore you guys, it's something that I've practiced myself, I invite you guys to get as many people on your side. So if you know that you're going to start a new habit or a new lifestyle, then tell like 4 to 6 people, or even more, tell social media that you're about to embark on this amazing journey to feeling better, having more vitality, having more energy, having more strength, and you would like their support. And it could look like, hey, I would like you to check up on me every week, every day, whatever it may be, or your significant, hey significant, I would love for you to keep me on track, especially when I have my weak moments. But the most important thing is when you do have that weak moment, you gotta reach out to your support system. When you don't reach out to your support system, you're kind of recluding in fear. that they might be disappointed in you, and most often than not, they're not even thinking that. So I highly recommend to start playing with this idea of loops and start understanding what your loops are. Start tracking it for a whole week. Just track. Don't even worry about changing anything. Just track it and understand where your routines are coming from. Okay? And then be able to change these routines dependent on the cue that you're giving. And then you'll hopefully start to experience the same reward from the more resourceful or healthier routine. Okay? And beyond that, I feel like what's also important to understand is that your environment can be a cue too. So if you have a messy room and your bed's not made and everything's all crazy, then you're probably going to feel stressed out, and your routine might be like, I don't want to do anything. Or if your kitchen's always dirty, always messy, you're not going to feel inspired to cook or meal prep at all. It's just going to be dirty. If you change your space, you change your cue, then the routine can be very different. And the reward you get could be even twofold, because now you have a clean kitchen, you feel more inspired to cook, and you cook, you feel better about what you just ate, you have more energy, and the cycle ingrains a lot better. So environment is just as important as some random emotion you feel throughout the day. If anything, I think it's one of the most important things. Change your environment. And some other things you can do with your environment too, just FYI, put messages or affirmations of what you want to achieve all over your house. Like if you want to achieve some massive goal, post it on your fridge, post it on your bathroom mirror, put it on your desktop screensaver, put it everywhere. So the more and more you're exposed to it, that same cue, the more and more you're inclined to take a certain routine or take upon a certain routine to give yourself the ultimate reward, which is the strongest and healthiest version of you. Peace.